Every step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use every comment, hate that makes my fuel. Gather up my energy and boom, I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with, giving my blood, so I am relentless.
All right, this is the Keep Hammering Collective. I'm here in elk camp with, these are men I've looked up to for decades. Just being, you know, I dreamed of killing a big bull as a young bow hunter, and to sit here right now with Homer Stevens, who's an outfitter here at San Carlos Apache Reservation, Stevens Brothers Outfitting, and then to his be left is Tim Stevens, director of, what's your title, Tim?
Director of the San Carlos Recreation and Wildlife Department. Okay.
And Mark Stevens, what are you, head guide?
Master guide.
Master guide. Well, it's this is incredible sitting here because we watched the Monsters of San Carlos video I don't know how many times just on repeat as kids, and I don't know, these bulls seemed unreal at the time, and now I'm here hunting them, and to be around you guys and learn from you guys, it's amazing. But I want to ask, what makes the San Carlos Apache Reservation so special as far as growing big bulls, and why is it, what makes it what it is?
Management.
It'd be the management program that was installed late 80s. They shut down the hunts to tribal members to the public. It used to be over the counter, so all the biologists that were working for the tribe back then are the ones that actually put that in place, along with the director, really limiting all the hunts. I mean, really limited to tribal members, very limited to non-members, so a lot of the bulls just started growing old, growing big, growing old.
Getting that age on them.
Yes.
Okay. So would you know offhand like what the harvest was before the program started and what the harvest would be afterwards, roughly?
The harvest prior for this unit still was very low at the time. Not a whole lot of people hunted this dry lake unit.
Yeah, just like the hunts were included here and the melee, but everybody went to melee because there was a lot of elk during the winter. They'd come down, so everybody would go there for elk quick. But we would hunt here and we'd still find elk ourselves because our dad would always take us hunting when we were kids, and he showed us the areas, and that's how we found them, and still kept finding them. Just right before they closed down, these two were getting on some giant bulls back then.
Really?
Yeah.
What was, oh, go ahead.
What happened is in 1985, we had a real good biologist by the name of Brian Chet. And he envisioned bringing the herd back up. So what we did was we bought 25,000 acres from the tribe and fenced it off, because the cattle that roamed in here, they ate all the grass down. So he said that the elk herds weren't flourishing because the predators were getting all the calves. So when we bought that 25,000 acres and fenced it off, had no cattle in there for, I don't know how many years it was. And it was like about the 4th year, it's like the elk population just took off because you had vegetation out there where the calves can hide down in there and not move, and the predators couldn't pick them up anymore.
Right.
And from then on, it just kept growing, growing, and growing.
And when you say fence, that's for cattle, because I know we got all sorts of trolls on social media. In fact, they're commenting on Mark's post today talking about there's a cattle fence in the background of a bull that you put up, and they're talking like that's high fence. So you're not talking high fence, you're talking
we're talking
cattle
fence.
Yeah, yeah.
They're only 4 feet high to keep the cattle out.
Right, and people, they see these bulls, and you might think, is this high fence because the bulls are so incredible? No, this is 100% fair chase, free range, wild elk. Make no mistake, this is giant country, big country. It's rugged, it's tough to hunt, and yeah, definitely no high fence operation. So I just wanted to clear that up. But that is a good point. You know, when the cattle, you know, the overgrazing does it not only affects the feed, but as you said, you know, once those calves drop, the bear, they follow these herds around, and as soon as the calves hit the ground, that's a free meal for the bear. And yeah, so people don't. I think people think lions are such a detriment to prey animals, but it's bears too. And you guys have a lot of bears.
A lot of bears. Coyotes do the most damage probably.
Right. Yeah, especially deer fawns too.
The director implemented a predator hunt, and a lot of people were against it. All the people off the reservation were against it because they said you guys are going out there for sport. But we're not doing it for sport. It looks like sport, but we're doing it to actually manage the predators and knock them down.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what's required to keep a healthy herd for sure. I mean, people don't realize you can't just kill prey animals, you have to kill predator animals. Well, I guess if it sounds better, you can say manage. I mean, you have to manage the numbers no matter what.
That was the actual event, predator management event.
Yeah. So your dad, he was a big elk hunter? Is that where the...
He was a hunter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then where did the obsession with elk come in for you guys?
No, man, one of the first elk hunts I remember is when we were at, Lost Springs. My dad would make a camp almost like this just for family, and we'd go there, and we'd be left in camp because we were like about so high still, and everybody else would go hunting, and the cook would be the only one in camp with us. And ever since then, just coming out and being in the hills, chasing elk, and now, man, like we say, wish we knew what we know now back then.
Right.
But I mean, it's still fun. I mean,
do you think was there bigger bulls back then, or is now the best time for big bulls because of the management? What would you guys think?
Well, the big bulls, there were few big bulls up here back then, very few, and it's all because of the mountain mahogany up on the rim where they winter. Mountain mahogany is a natural anabolic, and that's what they feed on, and that's all they feed on. The years we have bad horn growth is when there's not enough snow to push them over on that side and feed over there because it's hot on that side. When you get the good snowstorms that push them over, and they'll feed for long periods of time over there, and that's how a lot of our bulls really grew big.
So they'll feed on the mahogany?
Yeah.
But they only go there if they're forced to?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Also putting the season on the antler harvest, because all the big bulls are on their wintering ground then, just out there feeding, laying around. They drop their horns, and horn hunters will come in and start pressuring them, push them out of their natural, grounds right there where they're feeding, where their growth is going to start. So to shut down the antler harvest for those 2 months also made a big difference, to let the bulls just stay there and start their growth.
Big difference.
What months do you shut down for antler?
February
and March.
Okay.
So April 1st it'll open.
So that's after they've kind of survived the winter, and then it's a key to basically building back up after the rut. Then the winter, they're depleted probably. I would think any animal would be. So yeah, I understand that. These guys getting in there and pressuring moving these animals around. Yeah, that would make a difference for sure. What else? I mean, this has been decades. So you talked about when you were a kid, or kids doing this so young. Now what is it? Because you guys aren't really, you're not hunting, you're just involved in the hunt by setting up hunts for other people like me. Do you help do tribal members ever use you guys, or how does that work, or do you?
No. They compete with us.
Okay.
My biggest bull is a 339.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
And I pass up a lot of 400s. I allowed my wife to kill one bull, and it went 437. Whew. She had the largest bull for a woman for many years. I don't follow it anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she still holds that, but she had the largest bull.
Is it still just as rewarding, just being out in camp and helping others achieve their elk hunting dreams?
Yeah, it's just taking my wife and watch her take a cow elk. That's fun.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And now we're dragging our grandsons along on it, and they enjoy the hunt, and just that's just being involved with family, getting them started, and then also, I mean, in camp. I mean, if I wasn't guiding, I'd probably still be sitting in camp.
Yeah.
So my wife would say when he was the only one really doing a lot of the hunts, I'd rush up here and come scout for him or just hang out and follow them on the hunts, and slowly started getting into it more and more. And now it's
the passion.
Yeah.
Passion.
You have to have a passion for this. A lot of, even our guides, they're good. They do their job, but they don't have the passion that we have. Most of the bulls that we kill out of our camp with our guides, both Mark and I, and we find most of them.
Right. It's there's, you know, I understand that passion. There's levels of passion, but I do see the community. They care about elk hunting, because like I killed that bull last night, and there was quite a group up there. You know, I mean, we had babies, girlfriends, just other people. So it's why does the community care so much about elk? Is it because that shines kind of a light on San Carlos? What do you think that is? Why does the community care so much?
I think just being known for it right now for so long, 30 years. But when we do see, you know, like the states started killing big bulls, Kentucky was killing the bull, Pennsylvania, Montana, Utah, out of nowhere started producing big bulls. And it's like here, we don't really look at it as a competition and think, well, they did. It's just like, we just come here, like Homer said, just the passion to enjoy all of it. And then for him right now to start bringing in other guides and passing on what these two know, even though some are not, you know, family directly, blood close, but to train, teach, and pass some of this on for the tribe to continue this, to keep the management, the trophy quality. So it is tough. I mean, I used to guide with them, and I did very well when I was guiding on the hilltop camp, but I've never seen it as a competition against any other tribe or any other state. It's just we come out here and, you know, clients like yourself are paying money to get a big bull, and working for Homer, that was my goal as a guide when I used to guide, was, you know, he's paying me to get this hunter a big bull. And that's my job, that's my goal. So.
Yeah, it's I will say, as an outsider coming in, for me personally, I can't speak for anybody else, it's a lot of pressure coming in here, just because you guys, as an elk hunter, you know, people look up to you guys. Everybody knows the Stevens brothers. I mean, Homer goes to most of the shows, and, you know, he might be, I don't know, more people might know the name Homer Stevens, but for me, coming in here, I just, you know, I look up to you guys. I respect the land and the animals and the community itself. It's hard. It's hard coming in here. I know you guys have grown up doing this, but if you haven't, these bulls are like a whole nother level. You know, you see, normally a 350 bull is a giant bull anywhere, almost in any state. But here, you know, you wouldn't even really look at a 350. It's like when it gets to 400, now, you know, now we're starting to pay attention here, right? What would you, I mean, how do you see other people coming in? Do you like sharing it? Is it hard to share it? Because I know when I was an elk hunter, I didn't want to share my spots with anybody. So I don't know if you guys are just more evolved than me as far as being open or not.
I share too much.
Yeah.
Like Homer said, some of the big bulls that we've taken, or some of the other guides have taken, it's because I was like, hey, I seen this one here, and I seen this one there.
Yeah.
And before you know it, it's on the ground. Like, I was gonna go hunt it, but it's still in our camp, so it's like not too upsetting. But I was like, I was looking forward to taking it. But but I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I have all my pictures, and I just let the guys know the caliber of bulls that are out there and what they should be looking for.
Right.
And so it kind of has, like, I have like 350s to like 420s, and so you can tell the difference in the age and the horn growth and everything. So I like to share with these new guides so they can see it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
We have, with your bull, 137 400-point bulls through our group.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Because 400 seems unbelievable for most people. I know I had never seen a 400 ever before coming here. I still haven't seen very many, but they're here. And yeah, what age class is the perfect age for the bull's growth? Is
well, since I've been following them probably the longest, I noticed that the bulls reach its potential in length, time length, and its configuration at the age 6. Then they start getting up close to the 400. But not until the age 9 is when they just bulk up. You get that mass and that heavy tines and everything. Right about the age of 9.
9.
And everybody asks them if they catalogs. We don't catalog, but we have all kinds of pictures of all the bulls growing up. You know, we know who's down there, and it's still a guess when they come over the rim as to where they're going to pop out.
Right.
And some of the ones we see down here go back the other way, and we look and can't find them, and then somebody driving home says, "Hey, saw the bull down below." So you know,
yeah,
it's hard work.
Yeah.
I used to get really stressed out before I started hunting with Dan Agnew. I've been with Dan for 30 years. This is his 30th year here.
Wow.
And I learned from Dan patience. Before, I'd see a bull that was just 400. I'd say, right there, take him. Hunting with Dan, now I gotta score and make sure he's going to net whatever Dan wants. So, so Dan and I see tons of 400s. When I say tons, I say every year we probably see more than 10 of 400-point bulls that are going to net 400, and he don't shoot them. And I think that's why we see so many.
Right. You shoot them, it's over.
Yeah, we go back out there, and what I've done probably about 25 years ago is I start going and visiting the hunters at their place. And when I go there, I'll go golf with them, we'll go to dinner or watch a baseball game or something. But what I'm doing is I'm interacting with them and telling them, you know, what I expect. They tell me what they expect. Well, we want at least a 400 gross, maybe 410. Okay, I know what you guys want. But what you need to know is what I want or what I expect out of you guys. Because in my mind and in my heart, I'm managing this all the time. I don't have a role in the department anywhere as being a manager, but I think we do more managing from our position as guides than the department does. Because we pick and choose and tell the hunters, you know, what we kind of want and what we expect from them. And most of them are agreeable and they do what we would like them to do. But when they first come out, we let them shoot whatever they want to shoot. You know, you got to get rid of the jitters.
Are you talking about me?
Wasn't you that shot through the tree and ricocheted the arrow and never reached the elk?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know.
That was the first year.
I killed the type bull that first year, so we ricocheted one in it somehow.
That was the fourth shot. But anyways, it's just like Dan Agnew. As many bulls as we see and as many bulls as he passes up that are 430s and 440s, when he finally sees the bull that he wants a typical bull that's going to score over 420. We see him, he gets nervous. I mean, he sits there as calm as can be and watch these big bulls 7 yards walk by us, and we just sit there and they go around, and then we get up and smile and say, all right, another one in the books.
Yeah.
then move on. But when he sees the one he wants, he gets excited.
Oh, okay.
Same way with me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do this if I didn't get excited.
I understand.
I love getting excited for the hunters. I mean, it's like I killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And then if he misses it, I felt like I missed it.
I understand.
like seeing Mike's bull, the one we just took, the 7x7 I seen first, I was like, whoa, and I tried to get video. I couldn't even, I was like, that's a big bull, and couldn't hold it steady, and I just quit videoing and watched him. I said, okay, when he comes out, I'll get better video. Then the other bull comes out, then I'm just like, man, this hardly ever do I mean, I've seen a couple 400s together, but the bulls that came out were huge. I was like, man, those are huge. Like when Tim killed his 430, my hands started sweating like I was going to take the shot. Yeah,
that was the one on the video, right? Yeah. Do you remember that kill? How'd you feel?
I had already knew I wanted to hunt archery only. I shot at the camp. We used to camp down the road. These two went down. No client in camp. Took a shot last light. My arrow wrist broke. They show up at camp about 11. I told him I'm going to go with my rifle tomorrow because my arrow wrist broke. He went home, grabbed his bow, came back. I was like you. I was shooting the bow like 2:30 in the morning in the headlights. So I head out, and I go to Dry Lake. I go around, come in. All the elk are out there. That big bull's out there running. I glass him. I'm about 150 yards from the truck. I glass and I see that big bull just running all over the meadow, just into every herd, just trying to fight everyone. As soon as I see him, I lay my bow down, drop my pack, and I actually start running back to the truck to grab my rifle. I probably run about 50 yards, and I thought, nope. I stopped, went back, grabbed the bow, grabbed my pack, and I cut up on the ridge because all the elk were going over the ridge into the canyon. Got on that ridge. Elk were passing right next to me, cows, bulls, bugling, going into the canyon. I said, man, he's not coming. So it got quiet. I dropped down, got to the meadow, and there were still a few bugles. He came running from the south, ran across. There were two bulls fighting with cows on it, and he ran there, fought them. So I jumped back on the ridge, ran back, cut him off. Cows and the bull came up. He was probably 12 yards from me in the jack pines. I couldn't get a shot. So then later I went again. These guys started guiding again. I didn't want to go with anyone, like the comment you made. I didn't want no extra movement, no extra scent, nothing with me. So I hunted alone, but I took my uncle Stoney with me the one evening. I got on that bull and I took a shot and I shot over his back. So we finally went. And at the time, Dan Agnew had shot that big 6x6. We were going to go shoot that bull that evening. So let's go shoot that 6x6. So I said, okay, so we go up there, but when we get on the meadow, it's the big white bull there, and it's just fate. We just set up and just sat and waited, and he came, but wasn't the shot I was, that's not where I was aiming.
Right.
Kind of lucky. I believe the arrow hit my binos, and the arrow dropped to the right, and was able to cut both his arteries off his heart.
Oh man, well, we'll take it. We'll take it.
That was interesting, but even with that bull, it was a big bull, white bull. We were all there. It was fun. It was great. Enjoyed it. But I did shoot a big coos, and I was more excited over the 136 than I was over that 430 bull.
Oh man, yeah. Montana Knife Company was founded by Josh Smith, one of the world's most experienced master bladesmiths. Josh has been making knives for 30 years, and there's something really special in supporting companies that are made in the USA. The blades are manufactured and shipping straight from Montana. Montana knives carry a multi-generational warranty and free lifetime sharpening. They're designed, tested, and built by hunters. MKC is a hunting knife company first and foremost. MKC is unmatched and have the sharpest knives out of the box and the easiest knives to sharpen. It's been really fun to watch a company explode as one of the fastest growing companies in the knife space. Don't be fooled. They're still a small company and just hired their 55th employee and are looking to hire about 50 more in the next year or so. So if you live in Montana, tell them Cam sent you. MKC knives sell out within minutes of being released. So head over to montanaknifecompany.com. That is the best way to find out when they have knives available. Use code CAM10 for 10% off your first order. My favorite blade is a Blackfoot 2.0. Montana Knife Company, working knives for working people. I put my body through a lot. I have found that Ketone IQ has helped give me an edge when I'm running. I actually won my latest ultra and made sure I had some ketones to take throughout the race. I'm already drinking so much caffeine in a day. I really like that ketones provide a clean energy with no sugar or added caffeine. Ketones provide a ton of benefits to the body, the biggest being cognitive function. So I even down a shot before I podcast, and I feel like it helps me think more clearly. I'm all for anything that makes me smarter because the guests I have on here are top performers in their field and I need all the help I can get. Ketone IQ is giving listeners of this podcast a great deal. They're offering you 30% off your first subscription order of Ketone IQ at ketone.com/cam. I love the hunting stories. I will say, I'll make one point about Dan just real quick because you said, I think patience is what you mentioned about. So he's been here. He was here when I was here. I went to Colorado, did another hunt. I came back, he's still here. So he's been, to your point, he's been looking through some bulls. You know, and that's, people might wonder, I asked him, I said, how many 400s do you have? And he said something like 13 gross, 7 net, something like, I don't know what it was, but a lot of 400s for one man. And it's not just, you go out one day and you see a 400 and you shoot it. You know, I mean, that patience is a key part. Do you think that, I have two things I want to say, but do you think that patience is one of the biggest keys in killing a big bull? What would you guys think? Or what is the biggest key?
Patience helps. I mean, right now you see the quality of bulls, and when you're out there, you see some of them are young. They have the potential. Give them a year, give them 2 years. They come back in and they see a 415 that broke off maybe 2 inches. Dan won't shoot it. He wants to shoot that bull when he's at his fullest potential. So.
You get a little bitty extra on there? No.
That's part of the patience and good hunters like that wanna, it's like, no man, let's not shoot him.
Just like last night, we were up at this one pond, and when we got there, there's a couple small bulls out there. Then all of a sudden, this big 7x7 stands up, just completely soaked, muddy and everything. Stood up, chocolate color, right in the middle. 7x7, that's probably going to gross right at 420 and net just over 410, real symmetrical. And Dan's looking at him, and he goes, I can't see his antler. And I said, well, don't worry about it, Dan. Let him feed back out, because he got out of the water, walked up and started feeding and started coming back towards us. Then all of a sudden this big guy comes out, big 6. This guy is probably going to net easily in the mid 420s. And we're watching him, and the camera person that was with us is, are you going to shoot this?
Yeah.
And Dan says, when Homer tells me to shoot, I'll shoot. And there were some more bulls that were still coming, so we watched this bull for a while. I said, no, Dan, that's a bull you want. That's the bull you've been looking for. You gave up another bull that net at 422, so if you want to shoot, this is the bull to shoot. And then he goes, what about the 7x7 down on the west end? I said, all right, we'll leave these bulls here. And we pulled out. And we actually watched the 2 bulls, the big 7x7 and the big 6x, that's 6x6, just heavy, long fronts, long thirds. I mean, he had it all. Just, I mean, identical on both sides. And he was probably 48 inches wide on the inside. He's standing in there, and I don't know if that was his offspring or what, but they got in the water and they got their antlers together, and they just slowly rocked each other like that. And the camera person was going crazy saying, are you guys going to shoot or not?
Yeah.
And we said no.
Just watch the show.
And then we watched them, and then another bull came in. a lesser 6x6, probably about a 385. But he was a fighter. He came in, got in the water, and wanted to fight. Everybody left except the big bull. He stayed there, says, all right, bring it on.
Yeah.
He waited, and that guy walked around, splashed through water, and did fake charges at him. And then he backed off, and then they all walked away. And we pulled out. We went elsewhere to look at some other elk, only because we wanted to go down on the other end and look at the 7x7.
Did you guys tonight? Did you go down there?
No,
Oh.
this morning.
Oh, okay.
We went down, got up on him, long main beam, just mismatched here and there, and we won't shoot them. Like he had a G2 that was maybe about 3 inches shorter from this side. It just stunned it. It wasn't broken. And his backs, 4th and 5th, were not what we wanted. He'd probably score fairly well because he's wide and he's long main beam. Everything there, but it's not what Dan wanted. So
Right.
Dan says, no, we're not going to get him. We'll go back and look at the other bull. We have another bull down low, a big 6, long main beam. So we went out there and looked. We didn't find him today, but we ran into another 7x7 that had a bunch of cows. And we just watched them. And the camera crew, or the camera person just said, well, I'm not going to say anything anymore. You guys do what you want. I'll just video.
Yeah.
But we see them like this.
Right. That's I mean, it's a whole different level of elk hunting, really. The way you guys, just critique the bulls and just want the perfect specimen, essentially. For Dan, he wants basically the perfect specimen, perfect representation of a giant bull elk.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fascinating. I was curious about this, which is, this might sound weird or crazy, but as much as you guys have been up here, do you think these elk know you in some way? I mean, you spend so much time out there with them.
They know me and Dan.
Yeah, they know those two.
Go ahead.
No, not. I mean, I get into them, but I mean, I'm always roaming, looking. So I'm not always into the same herd. I'm always scouting. I scout for my clients that I get from them, but also I scout for Dan. Anything I find out, like, hey, you guys might want to come look over here. You might want to do this, but they can walk through a herd and not.
They don't spook, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they know you guys, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the camera guy that goes with us most of the time, he goes, "You guys are the only guys that you watch the herd and then you decide you're looking at 400-point bulls, 2 of them in the herd, and you decide you don't want either one of them. So you guys get up and you walk right down the center of the herd, and the elk just look at you." Anybody else, you stand up and move, the elk are gone.
Spook. Yeah,
and we just walk right on through and go to the next herd.
That's just like they have the running of the bulls. Where's that at?
In Spain.
In Spain.
Yeah.
They have. You can do that here, but you're running with the bull elk because if a fight breaks out, I mean everything goes running to the fight. I mean I've done running with other bulls. I'm running to the fight. Bulls are running beside you. They look at you. They jump. Then all of a sudden they just go. They go running, and you're running through the trees trying to get to the fight. Also, so we have running of the bulls out here. Also,
That's incredible.
I say it's like being William Dafoe in Platoon,
Yeah.
where he's running into the enemy.
Yeah.
We're running with the elk right to get to the main fight over there.
That's pretty special. An experience like that would have to be once in a lifetime.
I do it a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I've had clients where we've gotten into them like that, and they're like, if I don't kill, because this hunt is already a success.
Yeah.
This hunt's already a success.
That experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that, like with you guys, because I don't know if I did it right, but I think that the elk can pick up on your energy. Like if you have that aggressive type energy, the kill energy, do you think a prey animal can pick up on that?
Yeah.
From
It's just like, the way to explain it is, that I explain it. I watch even the domestic animals and the wild animals. If a bear's on the prowl, the animals know it, and they become aggressive and start moving real defensive and move off quick. Now if a bear's not on the prowl, they'll just stand there and feed and let the bear walk down the center.
Right.
Same
Is that
thing with
body
lions,
language?
coyotes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they feel it.
Okay.
I'm a true believer in that energy.
That energy.
They see it, they feel it, and they move away. But if you stay calm and don't show a lot of excitement, I'm sure animals see it. Like they can see the blue color and all that type of stuff.
Right.
But nobody's ever did a study and saying they can see the energy. But I'm pretty sure they either see it or feel it.
Yeah, I believe that too. I mean, I know. Speaking of your Uncle Stoney, the last time I killed that type bull, it was actually I hit it on the first shot. By the way, I didn't ricochet too many.
All right. Okay.
But he said that the reservation across the river. He said they were talking about they saw a monkey up in a tree. That was me. I climbed the tree. So anyway, I was a monkey in a tree last night, and this bull, younger bull, came in. I really wanted to shoot him. He's like a 7x8. And I just knew, I was thinking of you guys, what I'd have to deal with if I shot this bull, even though I thought it was an amazing bull. He looked a little short, probably to you guys, right? And so I just videoed him, but I was, it's like there's anticipation. And I knew it wasn't the bull that, you were telling me about. And so this bull rolled around, got all black with mud, and went back up, and then I heard another bull bugling off to my left. They came off the hill from the west, and then this bull that left was bugling, and the bull that I ended up shooting was going towards them, kind of ran him off. And while he did that, I was like, I just need to calm down, because I was like so ready up in that tree to shoot. And so I set my bow down. I had a little sip of this Powerade out here from the cooler that was in my pack still, and I had my pack up there on the tree, and I just calmed down, took a sip. The bull I ended up shooting, I could hear him coming. He was bugling coming down the hill, and I just kind of relaxed, took a drink. My mouth was really dry, calmed down, got down, and set it down. And here comes a bull, and he gets into the water. And this is to the point maybe that we're talking about is that bull standing there. I ranged him at 51, calm as can be, held, pick a spot. And I shot, and he didn't move. He didn't move an inch, and so much so that I thought, did I miss? Did I miss this bull? No, come on now. And I didn't see a flinch. I didn't see anything. He just stood there, and I don't know if because there's no calling, we didn't do any calling. He didn't see anything because I was, the monkey in the tree. If he just didn't know what happened and was so calm, and then I was trying to be calm as a hunter myself, I ended up shooting him 2 more times before he got out of the water. And then he went 100 yards and died. But I wonder if that was from that staying calm.
Yeah.
Do you think? I think if I would have been like all freaked out, he would have felt something?
I think so. Caught that quick movement. I mean, if you do quick movements, man, they pick you up. But if you just move easy, then I mean, you could almost move while they're looking at you.
Yeah,
and
just
don't
slowly.
jump. But if you do something like that, they see that aggressive, and they will start to move off or jump from you also. So.
You know
One of my secrets that we do with Dan is we'll get in, we're walking, and this one we used to hunt hard and go after the bulls in the brush. We'd catch a bull, and we'd stop, and all the elk would just pick their heads up and look at us because something was coming, and all of a sudden they stopped, so they're all looking. So what Dan and I start doing is, if we see a bull in the brush and real close to us, I'll get Dan to stop, but I stop also, but I keep my foot moving. And then I slowly slow down. They never look. And we're close. We're 15 yards, 20 yards.
So you're trying to do the cadence of like an elk walking?
No, we don't stop that noise abruptly.
Okay, I see.
We just slowly slow it down, and this is the energy we're talking about.
I see.
Once, if we stop,
right,
we're both excited, we both look, and the elk are gone.
I see.
But now what we do is, when we see them, Dan will stop, or I'll try to get him to stop.
Yeah.
But I'll just keep my feet moving like I'm walking, and then I just slowly slow down. And they never pick their heads up and look, and they're 15, 20 yards away. They just keep feeding.
I think that, I don't know if part of it, I've overthought hunting a lot before, but I remember thinking about bear, like when I'm hunting bear in like a bait situation, the bear are messing around, whatever, and when a big bear is coming in, you can't even see it. It's like solid brush. But a big bear's coming in, the other bear are like, they know, and I wonder oftentimes if that's it's just a bigger animal with a harder step, and they can feel somehow so in tune with the ground, because I don't know how they know it's that big bear.
They know who it is.
well,
they all know each other.
Yeah, sometimes the wind isn't that way though. So I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But I do want to ask Tim. The guide life seems pretty exciting. Why did you go the wildlife director route? What was your calling there?
I've been there for so long, and there was talk about who was applying and who was coming in, and I thought, well, okay, I need to apply.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I got the job, and I believe it was prior to that when they actually stopped the guiding for all Game and Fish employees, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I even asked, hey, I can give up my guiding, but don't do it to the rest of these people.
And you were a ranger at this time?
Yes, I was an investigator at the time.
Okay. So. And
so
is that still the case?
That's still stands. They put it in the ordinance.
I see.
So nobody from the department can guide.
So is it as rewarding as guiding? Is it more rewarding? What's your feelings on?
I honestly really don't even get to the hills until this month. If I don't make it out in this month, it's not until October. The rest of the year I'm always local meetings at work, in my office, so it is good to be out right now at this time.
Yeah. So. You miss it?
The guiding was good. I mean, when you're guiding for big bulls, for some big clients, it brings on some pressure.
Yeah.
When you're trying to get something good, I mean, these guys do it for the tribe. I do it for the tribe, for the people. The name, the recognition. It's for the whole tribe. It's not for us personally. We really represent everybody, everywhere, even people that are going to listen to this. It's for everybody that's from here. 17,000 tribal members. So we don't want to leave anyone out. And to give credit to the guides that Homer hires and that Camp Help, they never get recognized, even though they're the ones fueling the guides and the hunters with food and keeping them going for the 30, 40 days. So they need their credit too. Yeah,
they do. The crew you guys have up here, I'm impressed with. I mean, I don't know. The food's been amazing. I love it. I love just the camp atmosphere, sitting around the fire at night. It's a special place. You wish you could capture moments like this in a bottle and it just lasts forever. So, I mean, it's getting late here tonight, but I would like to hear, like, what's the future? What's your guys' goals, or what do you see for the future of the Stevens brothers? I don't know, it's kind of like a dynasty from the outside in. I know you guys wouldn't say that, but where's it going? What's the goal?
Oh, no, man. I mean, hopefully, one of my sons is guiding, but he's in another unit. He starts next week. But I mean, to get the younger men in our family started. Then our relatives and even these guys out here that aren't family, like Tim said, just keeping them all in the field on elk and show them it takes time. I mean, I start the end of May.
Right.
And if I can get some of the guys doing that too, and it's just carry that on, just work hard and try to get in there. And
it has to be inside though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has to be inside.
Because I follow your Instagram, and it's like, it's just an evolution of the season essentially. It's like, it's the sheds, it's the spring, it's the calves, the velvet antlers, then we get into the rut, then it's just like you're out there all the time, and it's captured in images because you do a great job out there. But Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying too, because I've how do you make somebody feel what you feel as far as passion goes? You know, that's the hard part. You hope that it develops or they just have it, but I understand that. Yeah. What's your thoughts on the future?
I don't know if I'll ever guide again, but if I retire within the next 3 or 4 years and these two are still active, I just might give it a shot.
Retire? What are you, like 40?
I wish. But I mean, you know, as far as passing it on, if they decide to, you know, retire, get out, and do stuff on their own for themselves, with their kids, with their grandkids, I mean, that's something to do as well. But it's like, it's tough to pass on the knowledge they both have, everything that, you know, they've learned, that they were taught, whether it was from elders, from our dad, or anybody. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to pick and choose, like, you know, who do I share this with? Who should I teach? Mm-hmm. Can't just pick a random person or a random, you know, someone within the family even. We got to give it to someone that's going to carry it forward.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. Okay.
I've been threatening to retire for the last 15 years. And all my hunters say, no, you're not.
Yeah. No.
We're not going to let you.
I don't know.
I actually retired in 2000.
Mm.
No.
How'd that go?
When did Dad pass away?
04?
2004. I just about stopped.
Mm.
I said no, and
because of your dad's passing, it just.
Well, everything. I mean, my dad passed, and there are other issues from the tribal guides and everything, and I just said, you know, it's enough. I don't want to battle anymore. I just move along, go play golf, go to Hawaii, and stuff. But I've been saying this, and Dan Agnew stopped me from retiring 1 year. Well, he didn't. My wife stopped me from retiring. Mm. I told Dan, this is it, Dan. I'm not guiding anymore. This is my last year. So 5 days before Christmas, on the 28th of December, my wife set the mailbox and gets a letter from Dan. And in there's a check in her name, not mine. It's in her name. Mm. And all it says is, don't let Homer retire. And my wife never goes against the decision I make. I told her I was retiring, and she was okay with it. And then she comes over and tells me, honey, you're not retiring. I go, what? She goes, you're not going to retire. I said, but we already agreed on this. And she shows me a check, says, I want to cash this. She got a big check and said, don't let him retire. So I didn't retire.
So he was buying her off.
Yeah, but he's been a good guy.
He seems great.
He's totally different from all the other hunters. Mm-hmm. I mean, we get billionaires that come through and they have their own entourage. They'll camp over there, mm-hmm. with their whole crew. They bring chefs and everything. But Dan has always been one of us. Mm-hmm. He comes in, he sits with us, does what we do, eats what we eat. I mean, we cook steaks for the hunters and stuff, but there's other times when there's nobody in camp, and we kind of what the natives eat is what I call it. It's normal food, but it's simple. He never complains. He sits right there and eats with us. Mm. And he sits around the fire all the time. And a lot of the other hunters, they didn't for the longest time. Mm. But now, since they see Dan out there, everybody's out there. They sit around the fire. So I think we created a different type of hunter that comes here now. They all feel comfortable with us. They're not going to some place where they're going to be taken advantage of and everything. Everybody feels comfortable here. Right. And that makes everything work smooth. Mm-hmm. That's when the stress went away, and I said, okay, I'll keep doing this until I drop, I guess.
There you go. Well,
and just keep doing it. As long as I have the passion for it, I'm going to keep doing it. I got my grandkids that hunt, my wife, my daughters, we all hunt. Tim's grandson, he started hunting. Mark's kids, they all hunt.
yeah. Yeah, your son helped me pack that tight bull out, didn't he?
Yeah,
we all did that.
Yeah, he was out there with us.
Yeah.
And it helped my daughter out. When she went to Afghanistan, Iraq, she's a good shot.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah.
she was ready, huh? Well, you guys built something special here for sure. I will have to ask, though, I thought that was the last question, but it reminded me of something. How do people get an opportunity to hunt here?
I've always just told guys at the shows or people that call, if you get a call, just make sure you pick up the phone, and if I ask you, you know, hey, do you want to have Hilltop open or Dry Lake open? If you have to say you need to speak to the wife, then you're not hunting with us. So if they said, no, I'm buying it right now, and you know, some of them buy that quick. Some of them said, no, I'll pay for it right now, I'll take the hunt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is. I honestly don't like the way everyone throws Dry Lake, Dry Lake, Dry Lake. You know, Melee puts out good bulls.
Yeah.
9 Mile's got really good bulls. And people out there that haven't killed, like, you know, when we're saying good bulls, we're talking like 390, 400.
Yeah.
Good bull to the average person is like 340, 350.
For sure.
So when I was at Hilltop, you know, I was able to guide on some good bulls.
I saw some big bulls up there.
425, 428, 427. I mean, so sometimes I just, without telling anybody, I'm going to switch the names of the 2 units. I'll say, hey, you got Dry Lake this year. Well, Dry Lake is Dry Lake over there now.
They wouldn't know any different, I guarantee you. I mean, there's giant bulls.
I can name 9 Mile Hilltop next year.
Yeah.
This will be 9 Mile.
Dan's biggest bull came from 9 Mile.
Really?
Yeah, 458 from 9 Mile.
Man, that is...
And then there was another one, was 445?
Yeah.
That came from 9 Mile.
Oh, look at that. That was a
And
heartbreaker.
see, all
What do you mean heartbreaker?
the Dry Lake bulls start out down there.
Oh, okay.
And then they come across and move back up here. They go all the way down off towards Safford, all the desert country. They go in winter down there. And then they slowly make their way back up here. So that's why 9 Mile can sell, because in that period of time, the Dry Lake bulls are in 9 Mile.
Yeah, it makes sense. Do the UFOs ever bring him back up here?
What's that?
Do the UFOs ever bring him back up here? I can't believe we didn't talk about UFOs.
The referencing really helps a lot too for people that come in. I get a lot of calls from other tribes that want to send people over, but I mean, like Dan's been really good with some references that want to come. So it's always good. I mean, Dan's a guy that never left. I mean, he used to hunt here, even though we had, 7 open hunts.
Yeah.
He would be here alone. He would hunt Hilltop sometimes. He would hunt here.
You had 7, like you couldn't sell the hunts?
Nobody was buying them then.
Yeah.
What, and this was 30 years ago or so?
No,
or?
that's 20. About 20, you know.
Yeah.
About there.
Yeah, about 20
Man,
when
it's
he was,
changed a lot now.
Yeah, late 90s into 2000, 2001. There were times he was the only one hunting.
Wow.
Well, before Tim became the director, before that there was another guy. But at one time, the biologist, I was hunting with Aaron Jones.
He's a timber guy, I think.
Yeah. And he was down here, and he was just like Dan. Not as... I don't know what the word is. He's not down to earth like Dan is. Aaron was a little stuffy, but he was good. I mean, he was a good guy. He came down, and he wanted a big bull, but he was up there in age. And the non-members that worked for the tribe decided that he was too old, so they didn't sell to him.
Okay.
And he offered more money for the hunt than the 3 tags that they sold.
Yeah.
He offered them more money for 1 tag so that he can come out and hunt. He actually wanted to get the tribe started on kind of a AI logging years ago. You know, he's going to bring the machines down and read the logs where the best cuts are. He was willing to do this for the tribe. No cost.
Yeah.
He was just glad to hunt down here. And then the non-members that were the biologists decided that he's too old. He's not going to kill a big bull. So he was gone. And they sold the elk tags to some other people, and they chose different guides. So we left from Dry Lake, and we started hunting Hilltop. Nobody wanted to hunt Hilltop because nobody took big bulls. I think that year we had 4 tags, and we took 3 400s.
Wow.
And then everybody wanted Hilltop again.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't, the other guides and the tribe couldn't sell the tags over here because they couldn't find a guide that would work with them and, you know, do what we do.
Yeah.
So I ended up back over here again. And we've been here ever since, and that's been 25 years, 30 years, somewhere. Well, it was before Dan came out. Dan's been here 30 years, so it must have been like 35 years ago when all that was happening.
Yeah, it's well, lots changed since then. Because now it's like it's what people dream of hunting, just like me. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you guys sitting down and talking. Like I said, I've really looked up to every one of you guys for decades, and now even more so just based on your elk knowledge and what I learned by coming here. I've learned a lot. It's yeah, it's humbling to be here and be, you know, I don't know, it's just very special. And I just want to thank you guys, and thanks for the time for being able to sit down and do a podcast. I know you guys haven't done a lot of these. I don't know if any.
No.
So this is very special. Thank you.
Well, you can do what you want with this. Go Trump.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Well, all right. Thank you. Anybody have any last parting thoughts you wanted to share?
I'm on 4 hours of sleep. I'm ready for
4 hours of sleep. I know. Thank you. We were up too late looking at photos last night by the fire. You said it's after 11 right now.
No.
So, Tim, did you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Homer, Tim, and Mark. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Every step I take, I move my truth. Every time they tell me stop, I use. Every comment, hate that makes my fuel. Gather up my energy and boom. I hear them talking, saying the way that I move is so reckless. That is a part of my mind I've been blessed with. Giving my blood, so I am relentless. My fault, they want someone to blame. They sent their hate, it fuels my pace. I am Roy Tough, I am the change, the fuel in dirt. Feeling like Cam Haynes. Oh, give me the Mars, nobody wants, I'll give you my heart, I'll carry it to work.